All right. So, Vivat St. Scholastica, you may have noticed that we started with Vivat as a prelude this time. We offered an opportunity for some staff voice. We asked about whether or not folks should think that we should sing Vivat at all staff assembly, and there's a mixed bag, right? It's about, so 31 responses, that's about 15% of the staff population. So, but of those folks, 30% or so said, no, we should not. And 30% said, it's cool either way, do whatever you like. Very Minnesotan answer. About 40% said, yeah, let's sing Vivat. But of those folks, there was disagreement. A little less than half said every time. Those are the diehards. And about half of those folks said every once in a while. So here's what we decided as a council to try this year. We're welcome to feedback. We'll see how it goes. Singing as a community in the first and the last assembly. The rest of the time we'll play it as a prelude like we did today. You can sing along if you want. If not, you can just note, hey, this meeting's about to start in 47 seconds. It's kind of like at church, if you attend and they're playing the prelude. I need to go find a seat. I need to set down my coffee. So that's what we're going to try with that. Now, the deeper question, though, is why do we sing Vivat at staff assembly? That's what led to this poll. I've been on staff assembly this is my third year now, and this has come up a couple times. Why do we do this? Because basically it's on the agenda, so we just keep adding it to the agenda. But why? I don't know. Why? Right? Love of learning compelled me to try to answer this question. So I knew there would be one person on campus, if anybody knew, who would have the answer. And sure enough, our CSS archivist who works in the library, Heidi Johnson, she knows why. Now, the short answer goes back to 2012, but love of learning. I went with Heidi into the archives, so I took that picture last week. Archives are in a top secret hidden spot. I didn't know where they were until Heidi brought me there last week. It's amazing. You go through a tunnel, you kind of go past. Anyways, so I went and checked out the archives because the real answer goes back to 1931. So here you see a picture from our archives. That's the scriptorium from 1932. The college paper, now called the script, previously called the cable, previously called the scriptorium. So this is the first time I saw publication of Vivat. It was written here with the seniors graduating in 32, right? So 1931, there's a song contest to write lyrics for a new school song. And Sister Loretta Sheehan wins this song contest. Now, Sister Loretta went on to become a faculty here. There was a leadership award named after her. But can anybody guess in the room or on Zoom? Zoom, I want you to fill up the chat. What was Sister Loretta's major? Music and songwriting? No, Latin. Latin was her major. Vivat is a Latin word. Hey, makes sense, right? So she writes this song, she writes the lyrics. We're not quite sure how it was set to music or what the original melody was, but in the 1930s, this is really weird trying to click. So in the 30s, it was an interesting time. So it was, Vivat was set to music, played at the senior promenade. It was broadcast on the radio, WEBC. But there was also a lot of conflict. So in 33, you find a record in the scriptorium. There's a letter to the editor from a few seniors who are having a hard time singing this tune. And then the following month, there's a rejoinder from the CSS Glee Club director who basically says, tough it out. You can do better, and so on. Now, I have a long history. A historical report as an armchair archivist that I just became last week, and I'll share it with the group. But for today, I'm going to move on for the sake of time. So now in 1942, there's another song contest. Staff Senate or Staff Council, I think, or Student Council, I think they were called at the time, offered $5 for whoever. Please, someone come up with a new song. That's a paraphrase of a quote from a counselor. Again, you can read it in the full documentation. That did not lead directly to a song, but in 1950, after a heated faculty meeting, there was a new melody. So Sister Wilfred Jordan writes this new melody. She adapts a melody by Reynaldo Hahn. Reynaldo Hahn was a Venezuelan who moved to Paris, became the director of the Paris Opera. We adapted that tune, right? So now we have a new melody. This is the first time we actually know what this melody is. Now the high times of that new melody may have been in the 1960s. When? The Skyline Singers, which was the name of the student chorus, they had 4 records that they pressed. You could buy them for $4.25. You can find one of these records in the archives. I played it on the record player in the archives last week. I have a video in the report. You can see that they had a 3-part harmony, and at the end of every record, they sang Vivat St. Scholastica. Now that was great. Unfortunately, in the 70s and 80s, we kind of go into the dark ages of Vivat, right? Not much is happening. It falls out of favor. There's a couple theories as to why. I'm not going to go into those today. It's in the dark ages. Not much is happening. Now, the Enlightenment starts in 1987. This is the 75th anniversary of the college, and there's an event on campus, an entertainment event, right, on campus in an evening. I don't know where it was. We're just going to say it was right here in Summers Main Lounge. And so at the end of that, the Andrews Sisters Revisited gave a rousing rendition, I hear, of Vivat St. Scholastica. The Andrews Sisters Revisited included Sister Mary Jean Tuttle, who I had for college communications back in the day, Sister Timothy Kirby, and Sister Churro. So they give this rousing rendition, breathing new life into this tradition, right? There's another song competition by now Student Senate. So the subcommittee of Student Senate, Academic Affairs, in their meeting minutes, they propose a song contest. Now, in the spring, they're looking for money, right? This effort dies in committee, it doesn't go anywhere. Now, luckily, in 1998, there's a millennial fervor. If anybody was alive around 2000, Y2K, the world's gonna end, you know, millennial fervor, right? So Sister Margaret Clark, who was a sister, I had her for physics. And she was a tradition nut, according to the records. Now, Sister Margaret Clark leads this millennial revival. She calls on the faculty such as Bill Bashton, who has long hair, deep booming voice, plays the electric guitar, probably rode a Harley. I don't know if he did or not, but I'm just guessing he probably did. He did. We have confirmation, oral history here. All right, and also Sister Leanne House, new spirited renditions of the music on piano, trying to get this going, right?
To thy fame a tribute raise, fount of learning, forge of friendship, home of happy college days.
All right, so now, this brings us, all right, so I mentioned 2012, right, the short answer. All right, so now we're to the short answer. So in 2012, what happened in 1912? The college started in 1912. So Zoom folks, I hope you're still with me. So in 1912, the college started 2012 centennial celebration. So a committee was formed to try to find ways to celebrate to celebrate the traditions of the college, bring them back. So Vivat comes up. Hey, let's reinvigorate Vivat St. Scholastica, this song from 1931. So this committee recommends that Vivat St. Scholastica be sung at all faculty and staff assemblies. And here we are. Now, faculty, now I just hear through the grapevine, here faculty, there was a little bit of rancor around this. The tradition lasted for a couple of years. It was voted down and they don't sing. We continue to sing Vivat as staff, not for any noble reason, but just because we've continued to carry it forward on the agenda. But now you know. And it's an endangered status. It's an endangered status right now. We are carrying it forward. It's played at convocation and commencement, but it's an endangered status, which is why I am excited to tell my staff friends, you are the first folks to hear this in a public setting, about the 2025 Vivat Song Competition for at least the 4th time in history. And this one's not dying in committee. This one we are taking to the House. The president has already green-lighted it. Brett Amundsen, sort of like the dean, but head music guy here at the college, has said, yes, let's do this. And you know, you don't have to worry about copyright stuff because Ronaldo Hahn's in the public domain since 2017. I'm like, cool, I don't even know what that means. So the song competition is coming up, right? So there's, again, in this document, the historical document also includes the competition guidelines. So this just kind of gives you a flavor, right? We're not trying to replace anything. We're trying to pay homage to this living history of Vivat St. Scholastica. So all of our musician friends out there, you know, I got someone right here in front of me who's in a country music band. I work with a person who's in a band. I know a person over there is in a band. I know there's lots of musicians on this campus, right? So I encourage you, I invite you to participate in the Vivat 2025 song competition. Long live the old song. And that, my friends, that is why we sing Vivat at Staff Assembly.
Vivat, Vivat St. Scholastica.